¿Cómo se llama?
Antonio.
Tony SLUMZ.
There we are. What up, what up, what up? How's it going, guys? Tony SLUMZ, producer, writer, engineer. And a few years ago, I had done a video when I just got the MPCLive of me moving from my Maschine to the MPCLive and why I love this so much. I should have done an update. So here's the reality of it now. I've moved back from the MPCLive to Maschine as my main DAW, my main DAW when creating music, especially when creating brand new music. I love the MPCLive. I still use it, but I use it more for live shows. Honestly, I use it for my beat sets, things like that. I kind of re-fallen in love with the Maschine, and I believe at the time I had the Maschine Studio, and then I upgraded to the MK3. Shout out to homie Meezy. And there's a handful of reasons why it really started coming in and why I really gravitated back towards the Maschine. And one of the big reasons, more than anything, is everything behind me. I started jumping into synthesizers, playing with live instruments, so to speak. When I first got the Korg Mini Log right here, and then from there I went to the Juno, and then you can't see it, but I got the Prophet, and then most recently I got this Micro Freak. And Maschine became really easy for me in terms of creating music using these synthesizers and not really relying heavy on the VSTs, even though it has a arsenal of dope sounding VSTs. Synthesizers was something that always scared me. I didn't know how I could dive into them, and once I dove into them, it was game over. I got hooked, line, sinker. It was everything I ever wanted to do, and it's something I just gravitated towards. And Maschine is really dope in terms of what I'm creating with the Maschine. I can make a quick drum loop, have it looping, and I can record on beat almost consistently. So that was one of the major reasons I really fell in love with it again. Another reason is the way I write. So when I first started rapping, when I first started writing, I would write these like paragraph form bars. So there'd be a lot of run-on sentences, and if I had the flows and the concepts that I have now and the skills that I have now, I could do wonders with that. But back then it was just it was hard to edit. It was really hard to figure out how I wanted my verses to go. And I believe it was the homie LBS who told me just split your verses into 4 bars. Every 4 bars have either a switch up in terms of pattern or concept. And it's weird because with me, I don't like rules, but I love understanding rules, so I know how to bend them and then break them. And that was a big rule for me, is especially because like as you're creating beats, and with Maschine you have these groups, and the groups to me are always in 4 bars or 8 bars. So it became really easy for me to be like to start to retranslate my verses to to scenes in Maschine, and I could be like, oh, this is where this is going. This is gonna be the pre-hook. This is gonna be the bridge. This is gonna be the hook. This is gonna be the verse, and I would kind of just fall into these things. So yeah, that was another reason why Maschine really stepped up for me. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be focused on these next few videos, kind of like I did with the SP conversation before, videos of how I'm doing it to follow. So moving forward, we're going to be touching a lot on the Maschine. There's going to be a lot of screen recording, but I'm also going to have the GoPro looking as what I'm doing on the hardware, because one of the main reasons why I fell in love with Maschine off rip was I wasn't staring at the computer as much as I did with FL Studio. I could literally just look at the hardware and build something out of all of that. And that became really something that I gravitated towards heavy. So the first video to follow will be using this bad girl right here, the Micro Freak, which was the synth I got right before I got the SP. And I didn't know I was gonna get the SP. I was just kind of content on just focusing on that. Fortunately, I got the SP that took over everything, and I have been neglecting, unfortunately, this Micro Freak. So I will be getting in on it and seeing exactly what we can do with that, man. So like, subscribe if there's something that interests you, and yeah, man, let's get to it.